Hey everybody, Nick here, and this morning I got a review for you of this little guy. This is the Karas Kustoms RenderK. The RenderK is an interesting pen, or RenderK. I'm not 100% sure what they're going for there, but it's an interesting pen with a lot of options, and I do want to thank my buddy Dallas for sending this along. He says it's his favorite pen by far, and I appreciate you parting with it for a few days here. Well, a little longer than that, for me to take a little look here. Let's do a quick size comparison. Here is your RenderK next to your boring little Bic pen. Here is your RenderK next to a Hinderer Investigator, your Prometheus Alpha in titanium pen, your Pilot G2, your Parker Jotter, and let's see here, a Koiko Lilliput fountain pen in the middle here. So we see that this is really a middle-of-the-road sort of pen in terms of size. It's not too big, it's not too small, it's a great little pen. So let's take a look at some of the features. Oh, one other thing I want to say. Looking at the website for RenderK, it does appear to be an older version. The new versions actually connect here, so that the cap screws off over here, whereas this guy has this little band further up in there. Don't know how much of a big difference it'll make, but either way, do keep that in mind as I'm reviewing it, that the new versions are going to be a little bit different. But I think I can still say something cogent about the whole lineup. So let's go ahead and jump into the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly of this particular writing instrument. So, first off, on the good side, the weight on this guy is very nice. It's a shirt pocket sort of weighted pen, meaning that it's very nice and easy to slide into your shirt pocket. It's not going to weigh you down. Your weight total here is 1.3 ounces, which ain't bad at all. I mean, compared to something that's absurdly lightweight, like 0.17, or something that's a little on the heavy side for a pen at 1.68, this is a really nice middle ground. It's heavy enough to feel substantial in the hand, unlike one of these guys, but it's also not too heavy that you're not wanting it in your shirt pocket. So that's a beautiful thing. The body on this guy is aluminum, which means that it's going to take dents a little bit easier than some other metals, but at the same time, it gives it that nice lightweight. There's a texture to the aluminum. It's not super visually apparent, especially on this black model. However, it is there. It's kind of, you feel the finishing pass from the lathe where it was kind of grounding down. So it's kind of neat. I'm a fan of that. Speaking of textures, this knurling around the top here is very nice. It adds a very nice bit of positive grip as you're pulling this guy out of your pocket. And, you know, it adds a little bit of character to it. So I like it. It's well done there. No problem. Let's see, the clip here is pretty good too. It's got a stainless steel clip. And you can see it just screws on there, and it's got enough spring to it to be secure in the pocket, but not too much that you don't want it in your pocket. It's got enough ramp here, no problem. Overall, the clip is kind of a beautiful thing. The other thing is that it is removable. These are just a generalized flathead screw, which makes it easy to bend back, which is kind of nice. If you spring the clip somehow, all you really need to do to get it bent back into shape is you just mount it backwards. Flip it around, and then you can use the body of the pen as sort of a lever to make that bend. So that's a nice thing. In terms of your refills, this is using either Easy Flow, Schmidt, it uses any Parker cartridge. It'll also fit a Pilot G2, which is nice. It gives it some versatility. This particular refill, the Schmidt Easy Flow, is pretty impressive to me. I'm not 100% sure whether it qualifies as a ballpoint or a roller ball, but whatever it is, it's nice, and it does flow pretty easy. So you get a lot of diversity in your refills here with this pen. Sturdiness-wise, this is 100% sturdy. There's no problem here. This is not a pen that you're going to injure in your everyday life. It'll be just as fine in the factory floor as it would be anywhere else. And, you're not going to hurt this pen whatsoever. That's a nice thing. And also, I think on the end of the good part here, it's really nice and easy to screw and unscrew. I mean, it looks like it's got a lot of thread here, but it's done in such a way that all it really takes is a rotation and a half. They're very quick threads. So you get a lot of retention here, and especially at the tightest level, there's a little bit of a detent almost, kind of where it needs a little bit to break free, which prevents it from coming uncapped in your pocket. But I like it. It's a pleasure to thread and unthread. There's not a lot bad there. So on the good side overall, it's pretty lightweight. It's got a nice aluminum body to it. Some nice knurling. It's got a good clip that's easy to bend back if you spring it. The refill selection's pretty good. Anything Parker, anything G2, and this Easy Flow deal is pretty nice. It's very sturdy, and it's nice. It's got a nice feeling screwing it and unscrewing it here. Very, very nice in that way. Let's talk a little bit about the grate here. The great thing about this pen is actually not demonstrated by this particular pen, but if you go on the RenderK or Karas Kustoms website, you will see that there are many, many options in terms of your colors, in terms of your materials, things like that. This pen is available in so many different forms. This all-black one is one particular form, and it's nicely done in that way, but you can get them in pink and green and, zombie green if you want. Something to match your Z-Hunter. You can 100% get yourself a Z-Hunter pen if you want. But nonetheless, you can get any variety of things. You can get brass, you can get a different color insert than the rest of the pen. So if you want something that's pink on the outside, gold on the inside, sure, this is your option. So there were a bunch of different options, 14 different bodies, which seems to be a cap and the back part, and 8 different kinds of grip. So very, very cool. And this is as such, this is customizable in a way that most pens really aren't. So that's what's great about it, is that it is truly customizable. You can get a whole bunch of different options and make this pen something that's uniquely you. Let's jump into the bad. Look, on the bad side, all I've really got are nitpicks here, and that's pretty nice. I'm not a big fan of slotted drivers, just because it's very easy for the screwdriver to fly out and scrape up whatever you're working on. And especially with the anodized finishes here, it'd be very easy to hurt that little finish, and it'd be a shame if something happened to it. So I would have preferred to see something like Hex or Torx here, but it's not the end of the world, I'll say that. Next issue is that you got to remember that these kinds of finishes will wear over time. You can see here, this is actually being EDC'd, both by me for a few days and by my viewer Dallas, and it's got some wear, particularly on the threads, on the area around the edge of the cap here. It's not the end of the world by any stretch, but it's something you got to keep in mind, I suppose. And so that's going to chip and strip a little bit over time. You're going to need to be okay with a little bit of wabi-sabi damage to the finish, unlike on a pen that's actual solid metal, where a chip is not going to look any different than the rest of the pen. So, another nitpick. I'm not a huge fan, personally, of the fact that the cap protrudes over the clip. I tend to prefer a pen where the cap is right at the edge of the clip there. So, when you, basically for when you're wearing a pocket along these lines, where there's a flip tab over the top here, it just makes it sit a little better in the pocket. Now that said, this is a nitpick because it was a conscious design choice, and you can see that in the knurling. The way that this is meant to be carried is clipped into your pocket like this, and then when you want your pen, you just grab the knurled part and pull it out. So something to keep in mind, but again, not particularly bad. It does rely on 2 small parts to work. I'm not a big fan of detachable small parts, but it's got a spacer on the inside here, which can fall off and roll under something, and it's also got this spring here. Now, this spring is kind of attached. It's kind of a press fit in there. You can pull it back out and then it goes back in, but it is something that's attached, and I appreciate that. But you've still got these 2 little parts here that if you lose either of them, your pen's not going to function as intended. I'm sure Karas Kustoms would hook you up with another one if you lost it, but I do prefer that the small parts be attached in some way, and so I appreciate what they did with that front spring there. The pen seems a little bit overly thick in my hand. It's fine the right width, and the part that you're gripping works, but the rest of it feels a little bit chubby when it doesn't really need to be. I would prefer something a little tiny bit thinner, but then again, I do have small hands. Maybe for a bigger-handed individual, no problem here. And then finally, I'm not a big fan, so the balance is good when you're just writing normally. It's well done in that way. It feels fine in the hand. But when you post the cap, the balance is not so great anymore. Then it's very easy for it to fall back out your hand there. So this is a pen that's really designed to be used without the cap posted. It's not the end of the world. Some people love a posted cap, some people don't. But this is not a pen to use if you like posting the cap. Also, it's not terribly secure on there. There's no area for it to click on, and I imagine if you really jam it on there, you're gonna injure your finish on here after a little while. So this is just not great for posting. So that's your bad. They're all nitpicks. The slotted driver, the black finish is, well, it's going to chip a little bit. The cap is protruding above the pocket. It's not the end of the world, and it's well designed here. It relies on both a spring and a spacer, both of which are small and could be lost, but at least the spring's attached. The pen is a little bit overly thick, and the balance isn't very good with the cap posted. I actually don't have any ugly here. This is a pretty nice pen overall, and in fact, all the bad I have are really kind of, well, Nick Shabazz nitpicks. So let's jump into the final conclusion here. So look, the Karas Kustoms here is a great pen. I'm going to just say it. It's nicely made, it's nice in the hand, it's nice in the pocket, and it's nice writing. It's a great writing tool. You've also got a lot of refill options, and the price at $60 is just fine. It goes up a little bit more if you change some of your options, if you add in copper or brass or something, but it's on the order of $70 or $80 max. So it's impressive in that way. There's honestly not much wrong here. And the thing is, this is different, too, because there were a lot of really well-made titanium or aluminum or stainless everyday carry sorts of pens. I've got a lot of them. And they've all got their strengths and their weaknesses. Where this guy excels is in that customizability. Wow, that's a hard word. If you go to the Karas Kustoms site, you can see they're able to do a whole bunch of different stuff for you and make this pen into something that is pretty uniquely you. And that's kind of a beautiful thing, that if you want yourself a pink pen, if you want to get a relative a pen that's, green with a brass insert because they went to a school where that makes sense, I don't know. If you want to do something custom like that, you've got a good choice. It's not that you need to get some Plasticho special from, Costco, some crappy pen, I don't know. You can get something that's actually worth a damn. I'm going to say it. This is a gem. You can get a gem that's pink with a brass insert. And that's kind of cool. I'll say it, it's not to my particular style. I tend to prefer bare metal, but that's okay. There are different grinds for different kinds. Everybody's got something new that they want out there. And so even if the Karas Kustoms isn't filling a niche I need, I think it's a great pen. And it's good to know that it's out there. And I think it's a gem, and it's a really solid option. So Dallas, thank you for sending this guy along. And Karas Kustoms, well done. And I like very much the options that you got going there. And everybody else, I hope this is interesting, that I made the right call, get it right, and that you have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day.